Hello there, this is the card I made. So I started with a simple sketch using my guide from the stamp set. It's an Amy Tangerine stamp set. I think it's called Finders Keepers collection. And I made a simple sketch just to know where I was going to place my stamp. I used distress ink, peel paint, because I wanted a greenish color to give the earth tones. And I stamped it towards the center top of the card. Then I decided to add some watercolors. I use a Winsor & Newton watercolor paint set. And I started adding some browns, some more water, some greens, a tiny bit of blue. I just wanted to play with the watercolors to give the earth colors. I wasn't thinking of where to add them, not thinking that much. Just adding water and a little bit of more pigment. So I kept playing, adding more color here and there, and at this point I added too much of that green, but I didn't panic. I just lifted the color a little bit with a paper towel, added a bit more water, and kept going. Watercolors are forgiving in that sense, because you're not looking for a perfect picture. The watercolor look gives you that flexibility when you're adding your colors. I made a second one just to compare and see. Over here I added more water at the beginning and then added more pigment. And I was just thinking to make one card and choose the best one. I ended up making two cards because I loved both results. I was having so much fun adding color, I didn't want to stop. And I was really happy with the results I was getting. So I kept adding a little bit here and there. I just wanted to make it a little bit different than the other one so I could compare and choose the best one at this point. And I kept adding a little bit here and there. I just didn't want to stop playing with this. It was so much fun. So I finished both and I hit set them because I wasn't that patient to wait. I made sure to add some heat to the back of the paper to prevent some warping of that paper, even though it's a good quality paper, but the heat does that. Okay, now I want to create a mask on top of the mask. I use the same stamp with Versamark ink, which is a clear sticky ink. I was careful to align the stamp on top of the one that I had already done, but not too careful. Then I added the clear embossing powder and heat set it. That way the paint will resist that area that I had already painted. So I made a light wash of blue and added different shades of blue here and there, just playing with the water, just watching how the water moves around with the pigment and kind of having fun adding more colors because I was kind of enjoying it because I loved so much the result of the area that I painted first that I was just having a blast adding some shades of blue and just loving the way watercolors move around with the water. I painted the other one the same way, and I think this way I was having even more fun because I knew that I would like the result because I had done it already and kept having fun with those colors and shades of blue. To make the card extra special, I wanted to put a handwritten message with my own handwriting because this is a very personal card that I'm going to give to my husband. So I wanted my handwriting there. So I wrote the message and traced it with a little bit of the pencil with the graphite on the back. So I could trace it back on the card and have a guide so I could write it on the right place whenever I'm going to use my permanent marker later on. So I put it right there, trace it with my pencil, and later on I trace it back with a marker. I had to go over with the marker a couple of times because of the texture of the paper, because it's a kind of rough surface. So I went, I think, 2 and some areas 3 times. And the other card, I just stamped another image from that same stamp set I used at the beginning. I mounted the cards with some blue and green cardstock, old cardstock that I had, and put them on a card base. This is a standard size card. I also added some decorations from a nail set that I found somewhere in a dollar store. I used a gel medium to stick them on the card. I also stamped another heart from that same stamp set that I used at the beginning, just to give it a more Valentine's look to the card. I also decided to paint the heart that I drew next to my sentiment. I painted with red, of course, to make it a more Valentine's card. I used the same watercolor paint set, just add a little bit of color and that's it. So here's the result. I really love my card, and I think my husband is gonna love it. Well, I hope you like them, and I also hope that you enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching.